Welcome back to my channel. wendirenay here. So excited to have you. This is a question I see often asked in our community, and I thought I would just address it. Today's topic is activism. If you have anything you want to add, 100% add it in the comments. So let's go. Before we begin, I just want to say thank you so much for liking, subscribing, and sharing the videos. I have no idea how the YouTube algorithm works. I imagine it's like a cult where it has control over what we view. So every subscriber, it just shows that we are getting that much closer to getting the message out there that there's healing on the other side of narc abuse and high control religion. Also, remember that we have a pretty fun community over there in TikTok. We have interesting conversations in the comment section, so go over there and join us. A question that I often see asked is, how can I get into some sort of activism, especially for the PIMOs? And the truth of the matter is, you don't need to get on YouTube, right? It's not for everyone. Doing this is not for everyone. But what about the PIMOs? What about those who are kind of suffering on the inside, who are in this religion because they have to be due to family relationships and such? First of all, having been PIMO for a small window of time in comparison to many of you, I can't even imagine. I can't even imagine. Some of you have been PIMO for years. Especially you elders, that's, oh my gosh, just all of you. I just can't even imagine what that's like. But there is a kind of activism that you can do while you're on the inside. It's gonna take bravery, it's gonna take gumption, and it's gonna take a little stick-to-itiveness if you wanna do it. Could you, as a PIMO elder, get information? Could you, as a PIMO elder, start recording things? Truth be told, there's not enough activists out there, actually. We have hundreds and hundreds on YouTube. I'm actually new to the activism world. We have tons of Incognito activists on social media who post memes and get the word out there, and they talk about what the governing body is doing. But we need more than that. We need people on the inside. Can you write letters to your local government and let them know what's going on? Is that possible? The governing body keeps telling people to obey the secular authorities. Well, is it obey the secular authorities, or is it obey God as ruler rather than men? Which one is it? Because I'm having a really difficult time. I can guarantee you, not everybody knows about Jehovah's Witnesses the way Jehovah's Witnesses know about Jehovah's Witnesses, right? When we were on the inside, I remember thinking, oh, they're out to get me. Oh, this person exists just to pull my faith down. Or, oh, any minute now, the governments are gonna come banging on my door. No, not true. But if you know something and you have proof of something, can you go to your local authorities? Can you be a silent whistleblower? Being here on YouTube, you're publicly known. I wouldn't be surprised if the YouTubers or the people who are publicly known to speak out against the atrocities that go on in that organization don't have like a most wanted section up at headquarters or something, right? If you're like a young teenager sitting at home and you just feel like you need to funnel that JW energy into something that you feel is useful, you can do that. If you have the capacity to reach out and help victims on the inside, can you fly under the radar somehow and help people? Sometimes we don't want to be responsible for crushing people's faith because it can be looked at as that. I admit that. You don't want to be responsible for putting seeds of doubt into people's mind. And as much as it feels natural to do that, as much as I say this in every video, as much as we want to go and shake people and wake them up, not necessarily the kind thing to do. You don't want to just crush people's faith, especially if they've been holding on to it for that long. So the kind of activism you can do, can it be from a place of empathy? Can it be from a place of helping? Can it be from a place of empowering? These are the things we can do on the inside without putting the seed of doubt in there, without revealing yourself, without crushing people's faith or their spirit. If you know of abuse cases in your congregation, can you go to the authorities? If you have access to a school system, can you go to the guidance counselors, or can you even go to the principal and mention what Jehovah's Witnesses are going through in the school systems? Can you mention how there's ostracism, and can you mention how they're made to feel? And can you go to the guidance counselor? If you're in school, can you go to the guidance counselor and tell the guidance counselor, hey, listen, I am what is called a PIMO Jehovah's Witness. My parents are making me stay in this religion, but I know there are other Jehovah's Witness kids in this school, and I want to give you some insight as to what is going on in this religion. If enough people in positions of authority are aware of what is going on, that will signal them to take action as well. It takes one person becomes two becomes three, and so on. You don't have to be on YouTube or social media for that matter to be into any kind of activism. And there are silent activists. And I know sometimes we just want to scream it from the rooftops, but sometimes that's not always feasible. And if it's not feasible for you, there are ways you can do this. Perhaps you were an elder or a pioneer, and maybe you just have the type of personality that now you can't unknow what you know, you can't unsee what you see, but you want to funnel that energy into something else. Well, you can. You absolutely can. Do you work with other witnesses who undoubtedly struggle with their mental health? Can you talk to your supervisor and say, hey, listen, here's what's going on. Here's what's going on in that religion. I want to give you a heads up. This is what I had been dealing with, or this is what we had been dealing with. Did you wake up on your own? We all woke up on our own. It's a process. And so you want to allow people that rite of passage. You want to give people that process to wake up on their own. Some people may never wake up. Some people may stay in this religion for their entire life. I know I thought I was going to stay in this religion my entire life, and I'm sure you did too. Maybe you're PIMO and you're watching this and you're suffering on the inside every day. Maybe you're in it for your kids. The fact that you are PIMO could be your superpower. You could go under the radar undetected. I can't walk into a Kingdom Hall, but you have the advantage that YouTubers don't have. And maybe we could put our heads together and get more and more activists out there. For example, in my area alone, I'm reaching out to all healthcare providers. If they have Jehovah's Witness patients who are suffering with mental health issues or who are suffering from chronic illness or unresolved trauma, not every healthcare provider is aware of what Jehovah's Witnesses actually are going through. In fact, Jehovah's Witnesses don't even know what Jehovah's Witnesses are going through. So likewise, their healthcare provider doesn't even know. And there's a way to go about it, right? Maybe you can just say, hey, listen, I live in this area and I think it's important that you know what's going on because this is what I've suffered with. This is what I am healing from. And then ultimately, you're letting them know, oh, hey, there's more that meets the eye to my client or my patient who's one of Jehovah's Witnesses. Sometimes you can do activism under the radar. Activism is not always Kingdom Hall crashing, screaming at the witnesses on their way out of assemblies and meetings and conventions. Listen, I get everybody has their thing, but that is not going to help. That's just playing into the narrative. And by the way, apostate in and of itself is just another title that they give to people. It's a classification of people. And they're very good at doing that. So think of your life circumstances. Think of what every day is like for you. Think of who you talk to. You don't want to badmouth witnesses. There is a way to choose your words eloquently and to speak about this religion with class. Because here's the thing, you don't want to sound like some disgruntled ex-member. You can easily state facts without emotion. Hi, my name is Wendy. I'm in your area today. No, I'm just kidding, right? Use your JW mentality. Hi, my name is Wendy, and I'm raising awareness about this issue going on right now all over the world, but here's how it affects our community. Things like that. Use the talents and the skills that you learned on the inside to now rewind, go back, and unwitness to people. But your job as an activist, the very word means act. Your job as an activist is just to take action. And action looks different for everybody. You can be subtle, you can be silent, you could be the guy or girl who's behind the scenes. There's tons of ways to do activism. What works for you? Are you living at home under your parents' roof and you're not even allowed to use the internet? I imagine how frustrating that is if you want to get into activism. Get a pen and paper and start writing to people. Find out who your congressman is. Find out who is in charge in your neighborhood. And look at the real estate agents in your area and find out the Kingdom Halls are for sale. Tell the real estate agents what's going on. There's a way to, being resourceful is one of the best ways to pursue activism. And if your circumstances don't allow you to be public, there are other ways you can go about it. And I just say, the amount of people who want to get into activism, it's amazing. We need you. There is never enough activists on this side, ever. So if you have more suggestions for up-and-coming activists, please put them in the comments. And remember, if you want to be on the show, if you want to talk about your activism, if you want to talk about your story, how you woke up and how you're healing, please email me, wendirenay@gmail.com, and we will get you on the show. Thank you so much for watching. So excited to have you. Why do I clap? I'm gonna do a blooper. I'm gonna do a blooper. I'm gonna do a blooper reel, or maybe I'll just leave the bloopers in. So, oh no, brown cow. I'm wendirenay. I want to talk about a topic that I have to keep doing. I don't know what this is. I had someone say, "Why do you do this?" Like my one friend said, "You make like a claw hand when you're nervous." Just kidding. Call me out on my stuff, YouTube. Before we begin.